This is virtually professionalizing the politics, which is now going to be not amateurish but highly professional, competitive domain. And therefore, I am so greatly impressed by this effort. That is one thing. The second thing why I am so happy about this initiative is that he has been able to rope in the best brains in the industry who are already there, and of course, excluding me, of course, most of the people who are here happen to be the best brains in the country and already training people and politics and politicians and political parties. So for me, it's going to be a great learning experience, and I have come here not to say anything, but just to learn from most of the people who are in the industry. So that's another thing. I think most of us are very keen to learn how these politicians are desperately needing these political consultancies, firms and political consultants of high order. And I must tell you that in the earlier session, we had the main speaker, Mr. Deshmukh, tell about you about thousands of vacancies. But to my understanding, there are 33 lakh elective positions in this country, right from panchayat to parliament. 33 lakh elective positions. And if I can say that for one elective position, there are at least 5 average competitors, then the people who are needing you, they run into crores and crores. And that's why there is a big future. I must compliment Professor Afroz and Manu and this Billion Connect for this, that they have looked at, they have realized that there is a vacancy, there is a vacuum in the entire country where there is a great opportunity for self-entrepreneurship. I would not say employment, because employment is understood in different parameters. But when we are adding a population equivalent to one Afghanistan every year, then we are adding one population equal to Sudan every year, in Spain every year, Spain every year, then how do we expect any government to provide you jobs? And therefore, the way out is only self-employment. And for the boys and girls, of this age, I think a political consultancy and so many other things. Political consultancy has, plethora of, dimensions in which our students, young boys and girls can come in and have their bright future. So that is the second thing I wanted to say. The third thing which I would say is that this history I would consider to be a very special point. I would call it a gender point in the history of Indian politics. And why I would call this point a gender point in the history of Indian politics is because we have not only 73rd and 74th Amendment, but now we have the 106th Amendment, which we call Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. And because of that, 1/3 seats are reserved not only in Lok Sabha, not only in Parliament, but in all the state assemblies, including Panchayat. So from Panchayat to Parliament, you have already, a very huge number of vacancies reserved for the women. And I'm surprised that nobody is taking initiative in the countries to sensitize women that this is the opportunity, this is the history, this is the moment for women empowerment, women representation, and women to rise up and see that they are not proxy politicians. They are not considered to be a proxy politician run by their husbands, their brothers, and that we have seen in the Panchayati Raj, the third tier of the federal polity. Now, in the villages, you had a proxy person representing you in parliament and other things. But here is, nobody can proxy you in assembly, nobody can proxy you, nobody can substitute in your parliament. You have to be there. So where are those women? Today, if you look at the Lok Sabha, we have 75 women in parliament. And if today the Nari Shakti Vandana Adhiniyam is executed, implemented, you will have 181 women seats in parliament. And come delimitation, already 888 seats are there in the parliament, new parliament, and therefore after delimitation, the seats are going to rise, substantially 200 seats at least, and therefore approximately 200 women will be only there in the Lok Sabha. So we have, through Billion Connect and this initiative, sensitize women that rise up, identify the constituency for you, so that the history moment will never come again. And this is the moment, this is the time when you have to rise up and say and secure a political future for yourself, women especially, and for all the youth. So friends, when you do this, when you want to do this, you have to be an expert in political communication. And political communication, is a very important, thing to connect with the audience. And as the name is indicative, Billion Connect, you have to connect to the billion people. Today the Prime Minister goes out of the country and says, I am representing 140 billion people of India. So that is the kind of a connect. You have not to connect to a particular segment. You have not to connect to a particular social denomination. You have not to connect to a particular religion. You have not to connect to a particular region. You have to connect the people of India. And unless you know the art of communication, I must say that there is not going to be any connect. So this session today is very, very interesting.